Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. It's Wednesday, and a lot of other people do like a wild card Wednesday or a what's up Wednesday. I think I'm gonna do a whatever, whenever Wednesday because I don't know that I have enough stuff to do a video every week, every Wednesday. So I'm kind of just gonna put these videos up whenever I have a subject for doing something on Wednesday, and it's just going to be all different things. I'm thinking I'll do tool reviews of tools that I have purchased and owned, and also, you know, if companies start to send me tools at some point in the future. I've finally been contacted by someone. This is like the first company has contacted me and wants to send me a tool which I actually have wanted for a while now. I've been thinking about purchasing on my own, and you know, the deal is you know, if you watch a couple of different YouTube channels, you kind of probably have gotten the idea of what's up with this. Basically, a company will send someone a tool in exchange for a review. Now, they haven't said that they're going to send me the tool in exchange for a good review. They've just said in exchange for a review. So I can do whatever the hell I want, and I'm going to do what I want. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion of the tool. And you know, a lot of people, there's like a big controversy about this. Like, you know, if you're being sent a free tool, then, you know, you're being paid for your review. You're biased. You're going to give a better review because you've been given it for free. And you know what? I don't know if I fully agree with this, because think about this. If I had gone out there and purchased a tool and spent my own money on it, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to want that tool to be good because I just dropped money. You know, I just spent money. So in my head, I'm wanting this to be good. And it's just kind of that thing, you know, when you buy something new, you're excited about it. You're like, oh, this is really cool. And you just kind of, you ignore the downsides. You ignore the little problems. It's the same with anything. It's like going out with a girl for the first time. You kind of ignore the crazy. You know what I mean? And you just kind of look at you look on the bright side for a while, and then after a while, you just can't ignore the crazy anymore. And then that's when you get rid of that girl or whatever, that tool, whatever it may be. So there's bias. There's always going to be bias. But if I'm sent a tool for free and I didn't pay my own money for it, then you know, in a way, I kind of have less bias. I don't really care. You know, it could be good or bad. I don't care. It didn't cost me anything. So I'm just going to give you my honest opinion about it. And the thing is, if it's a really bad tool, like, you know, sometimes there are things, you know, if it's something that came out of the dollar bin, you know, the dollar China bin, honestly, I'm not going to do a review on that. I'm going to send the product back and say, thanks, but no thanks. This is not appropriate for the channel. So I promise any tool reviews you see on this channel are going to be tools that either, you know, if I'm saying that this is a good tool and you should buy it, then I'm not being paid to say that. I'm not saying that against my will. I actually mean that. I'm only going to say that if I really mean it. And I may do some tool reviews on which tools you shouldn't buy for whatever reasons, basically trashing tools or whatever. I mean, obviously there is going to be a lot of material, a lot of Harbor Freight material to do that, because you guys know I do have Harbor Freight tools, and I just like everyone out there, I've got a love-hate relationship with Harbor Freight. So there are some really good buys at Harbor Freight, and there are some really crappy buys at Harbor Freight. And you know, maybe there'll be a video of crappy Harbor Freight stuff versus good Harbor Freight stuff or something. There's a lot that we can do. But anyway, in this particular video, I want to tell you about kind of what's coming up with the E46. This is not the E46 behind me, but with my E46, I have videos, planned videos, ideas that I want to do. I've been keeping a list, so I'll just kind of quickly go over it with you. I definitely have a video coming up on the cooling system. I know a lot of you have been asking for that. So I've got a video coming up where I'm going to replace the radiator and coolant expansion tank. And I've actually already shot it. So that's coming up soon. And I'm doing like a two-parter video series on that. I'm doing the radiator and expansion tank in one, and then I'm going to do the hoses, the thermostat housing, and the water pump in a second video. And just so you know, you should do all of that at once, all with one job. I did it in two different videos just because I just forgot to order some parts, and this is just the way it worked out. But I watched for a long time, and I actually one day I found two replacement seats that are a perfect match for my seats. I've got the heated seats, the heated sport seats, and those are a little less common. So I was able to find two really good condition ones a little while ago in the junkyard on the same day. They were probably like under $30 each. So that's definitely going to be a video coming up. I'm going to show you how to remove the seat and just remove the whole seat from the car and change the lower seat cushion, the part that your butt sits on, not the back part. Back parts are usually fine. Definitely going to do a video about changing your belts and the idler pulleys at the same time, all three of the replaceable pulleys. I think that should be a pretty good video. So the lower control arm bushings, front lower control arm bushings, I've been thinking I'm probably going to do this. I know that they've been replaced on the car before, because there's no way with 175,000 miles I still have the original bushings, because they're a little too good. I recently took a trip to Big Bear, and I could just sort of feel a little bit of, the car was sort of, every now and then I could feel it ever so slightly get out of lane, and it righted itself right away, and it only lasted for a fraction of a second. And I couldn't tell if it was the road or if it was maybe those bushings kind of getting a little worn. Maybe they're not as stiff as they were. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that at some point pretty soon. I figure another good video will be the power steering pump. I know that there is an older LF20 power steering pump that would shear off the pulley on the inside, and those got replaced. The replacement for that is an LF30 power steering pump. I'm not sure which one I have. It might be the 30, but it doesn't matter. I will show you how to remove it and drain the system, remove it, replace it. In my case, if I have the 30, I'm just going to pull mine off and put it back on. But I'll show you how to do all that if that be one of your problems. I have lifter tick in my valve train, and the BMW, the M54, the M52 engines, they have hydraulic lash adjusters, and basically after a while, this kind of happens with all hydraulic lash adjusters, they get really crudted up with oil residue, especially if you don't change your oil on a regular basis. That's the problem with the oil service indicator thing in a BMW car. It says 15,000 miles, and if you're an owner who just kind of follows that, in my opinion, that's just, you're not replacing the oil often enough. Even though it's synthetic oil, it's still going to break down. I think you're taking it too far to the limit. So I personally replace my oil every 7,500 miles, but I'm the third owner of this car, and I bought it when it had about 165,000 miles. So the damage is kind of already done. Those lifters get crudted up, and the only way to kind of repair them is to take them apart, pull them out, clean them out, pull them apart, clean them out, put them all back in and everything. And that involves removing the camshafts, which is actually not as straightforward as it should be on a typical car, because the camshafts on this car are hollow. And if you don't take them off in just the right way, they could actually crack in half. So that'll be a particularly interesting video. I also believe I'm consuming oil still at this point. I've fixed all oil leaks on this car at this point. But still consuming oil. I think since my last oil change, which I did a video on, I think I've added about 2 quarts, and I am maybe 5,000 miles into the oil, the oil service interval. So I've got another 2,500 miles to go. But after 5,000 miles, I've added 2 quarts. So that's, there's consumption going on, a little bit of consumption, and I'm suspecting valve stem seals. But I don't know for sure. But if I do that video on the hydraulic lifters, I'll definitely be replacing the valve stem seals, because that is when you do that job. So that's a video coming up. I don't know exactly when yet, but it's coming up at some point in the future. Fuel pump. Unfortunately, this is a brand new fuel pump that I have in here. When the guy just replaced it before he sold it to me. I guess it's been a year and a half at this point. But maybe on half off day at the junkyard, I can go and get a fuel pump and just pretend that's, you know, that's a bad fuel pump and it's just died. Or actually, maybe I can, maybe, I'm wondering if, you know what, I'll think on that one. What I really like to do is get a fuel pump that is dead, pop it in there, and show you how I would go about diagnosing if in fact it is the fuel pump that is dead, and then just replace it with my working fuel pump. That way you can just sort of see the steps involved and what it's going to look like, what it'll sound like when the fuel pump is on versus not on, things like that, that, you know. So I'm thinking about a fuel pump video at some point, but I need a bad fuel pump in order to make it happen, or I need a way to sabotage my fuel pump such that it is bad. Maybe I'll just get a fuel pump from the junkyard and cut the wire on the inside. That might be a way to go. So if you have any other ideas for videos, definitely let me know. Put them in the comments below. I will put them on the list. I'll try to make it happen. You know, I try to take all the money that I make from this channel and reinvest it in the channel, whether it be parts or tools or whatever, you know, it all goes to this channel. Obviously that transmission issue I had a while back took a huge chunk out of that, but you know, it's getting back up there now, and so it's time to make some more videos. And so just, yeah, let me know what your ideas are, and I'll do my best to make them happen. Anyway, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Like I said, lots of great videos to come. These are not the only ideas I have. I do have other ideas. Here are just a couple of them. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.